Imagine you had the power to turn any wish into reality. How would your life look if you could create everything you've ever dreamed of? From your perfect home to your ideal career, or even the relationship you've always wanted. Now, what if I told you that you already have that ability within you? According to Neville Goddard, one of the greatest teachers of manifestation, we all have the power to shape our reality according to our deepest desires. He believed the key to this is in assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. It's not just about wanting something or dreaming of a distant future. It's about living in the present, as if what you desire is already yours. Sounds magical, right? But it's a practice deeply rooted in how your mind and emotions work. Neville called this approach living in the end. He taught that we need to imagine ourselves already living in the result we want, instead of just wishing for something to happen. So, let's say you want a new job. Most people would feel anxious, worrying about interviews, competition, or doubting if they're good enough. But according to Neville, the secret is to mentally and emotionally live as if that job is already yours. How would you act if you already had it? What would your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors be like? And more importantly, how would that change the way you approach each day? This is the power of creative imagination that he spoke so much about. An instrument you can use not only to shape your feelings but your circumstances as well. Now, think about something you want right now. Maybe you're looking for more money, financial security, or just a life with fewer worries. Typically, our focus is on what we lack, bills to pay, daily struggles. But the law of assumption invites us to shift that focus. Instead of concentrating on scarcity, why not start imagining what your life would be like with abundance? Picture yourself easily paying your bills, investing in your dreams, living with the peace of mind that financial freedom brings. Feel that sense of freedom as if it's already happening. You're planting a seed, and the more you nurture that feeling, the more it grows and shows up in your reality. The big secret here is that feeling is the key. It's not enough to just think about what you want. You need to feel as if you already have it. Do you remember the last time you accomplished something important, something that once felt out of reach? Maybe it was finishing a big project, hitting a long-term goal, or even something simple but meaningful. The emotion that comes with achieving something is powerful. Maybe you felt joy, relief, or satisfaction. That's exactly the feeling Neville teaches us to generate, even before the physical manifestation of our desire. When you align yourself emotionally with what you want, you're adjusting your vibration, creating a frequency that attracts what you desire. Now, this might sound a lot like positive thinking, but Neville made an important distinction. While positive thinking can sometimes be shallow, the law of assumption is an active and intentional process. It's not just about wishing for something or hoping it happens. Instead, it's about living the experience internally with so much clarity and emotion that reality itself begins to align with your vision. Unlike passively wishing for something, like tossing a coin in a fountain and waiting for a miracle, the law of assumption requires you to play an active role in creating your life. Another fascinating aspect of Neville's work is his practice of revising the past. He believed that you could literally rewrite the past events of your life, and by doing so, change their impact on your present. Let's say you have a painful memory or an experience that continues to affect your decisions and emotions. According to Neville, you can revise that memory by imagining it differently, as if the event had happened in a more positive way. This might seem strange, but by changing how you perceive the past, you can alter how it influences your present and future. It's a powerful technique for anyone who feels held back by certain events, and it's an example of how imagination can be a tool for healing. Now, let's take a step back in time. Do you remember what it was like when you were a kid? Your imagination was wild, limitless. You could create entire worlds in your mind where anything was possible. Maybe you imagined flying, finding hidden treasures, or talking to magical creatures. For a child, the impossible doesn't exist. But as we grow up, many of us lose that connection to imagination, that ability to see beyond what's physically in front of us. The law of assumption challenges us to reconnect with that ability. It reminds us that even as adults, we can still imagine and create the life we want. If you're wondering whether this really works, there are countless stories of people who have transformed their lives by applying these principles. From landing dream jobs to manifesting healthy relationships and even financial transformations. The key lies in consistency. It's not enough to try it once or twice and then give up. It's a daily practice, a continuous shift in mindset. Here's a challenge for you: choose a desire. Can be anything, big or small. Now follow these steps. Clarify what you want. Write it down in as much detail as possible. The more specific, the better. Feel what it would be like to have that desire right now. Imagine it's already happened. How would you feel? What emotions would come up? Live your life as if you're already experiencing that reality. Take small, daily actions that align with this new version of yourself. The more you do this, the more you'll notice that the universe starts responding in unexpected ways. Not always in the way you planned, but often in ways that are even better. And of course, we can't forget about gratitude. Cultivating gratitude for what you're manifesting, even before you see concrete results, is one of the most powerful ways to reinforce this new reality. Gratitude acts as an energetic confirmation that you're aligned with what you want. The more you give thanks, the more you receive. The law of assumption isn't just some philosophical idea. It's a practical and powerful tool for transforming your life. Many people see concepts like this as abstract or something far removed from daily life. But what Neville Goddard teaches us is that life-changing results are not only possible, they're inevitable when you commit to applying these principles consistently. However, it's important to understand that, like any significant change, the process isn't always easy. Doubts and challenges are natural, especially at the beginning, because we're confronting habits and ways of thinking that we've carried with us since childhood. Think for a moment about how many times you've heard things like, "Life is hard," "You can't have it all," or "Dreams are for the lucky few." These limiting beliefs have been absorbed over the years and naturally shape how we see the world and what we believe is possible. The good news is, just as we learned these limiting beliefs, we can unlearn them. What makes the difference, as Neville taught, is persistence. Imagine you're training your mind the way an athlete trains their body. At first, it might feel uncomfortable, there might be resistance. Maybe the external reality won't show immediate signs of change, and this is where many people give up. But true transformation happens when you keep going, day after day, even when everything around you seems to suggest otherwise. And if doubt creeps in, if at some point you start thinking this is all fantasy, that it's impossible to change your life by just changing your mindset, that's completely normal. It's part of the process. The key isn't to eliminate doubt entirely, but to recognize it and keep going despite it. Persist even when it feels hard, when the old mindset tries to take over. Every time you persist, you're strengthening the new pattern, the new way of thinking. And that's what, in the long run, will define the results. So now, I leave you with an important question. What are you going to assume for your life starting today? This is a personal and profound decision, but it's the first step toward transformation. What are you willing to feel as if it's already real? Think carefully about this, because it's this decision that will shape your future reality. And remember, the universe responds to clarity and consistency. The clearer and more precise your assumption, the more power you have to manifest that reality.